Hey, welcome everyone to GBM 3 Transfers in Science, How to Get Research. We're going to be going over how to get research. We're gonna go into different outlets, how to approach your PI, your principal investigator. That's the main person that conducts research. And then we're going to go into the interview process, before the interview process, during the interview process, and after. And then some research opportunities that y'all can capitalize on today. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the very first thing.
So a really helpful tool to use in order to get any kind of job, but more importantly, research and internships is Handshake. UCSD has a partnership with Handshake where if you use your UCSD email, it'll show you what research options and internship options you have on campus. And even some, now that COVID has come around, there are a lot of research opportunities online for undergrad students. So that has become super helpful through Handshake, and it'll help you see what research options you have available to you right now. So some of the things that you could do is that you could set up your profile, list your courses, all previous job experiences. Annie's going to talk a little bit more about the profile, but I did want to mention to you just these two links down here in the bottom left. They do walk you through Handshake, and it tells you exactly what you should do, how you set it up, and all that. But right now we're going to take it to Annie, and Annie is going to tell you a little more about how you set up your profile.
Hey everyone, so I'm going to go over tips on how to set up your Handshake profile. So as you can see on the right, it is an unfinished profile. It's 35%. That is actually mine, so don't be like me. So what you want to do first with your profile is you want to add an appropriate/professional photo, because it's really important for these people who are looking to hire you to see that you're a real person. Make sure you complete all these categories. So you want to add your work experience or any organizations you're in. Skills, adding documents such as like your resume, all that stuff. So it's all about completing all these categories and uploading all the necessary documents, because you want to show that you've completed it, like you've done the work, so people will see that you've put in effort. And then another great resource is LinkedIn, which Samir will explain.
Thank you, Annie. So LinkedIn is another great tool for building connections and also reaching out to recruiters, and for essentially maximizing the amount of outreach you can have. And it's also one of the biggest professional networks out there. So if you're planning on advancing your career and finding more internships and opportunities to showcase your skills, setting up a profile on LinkedIn is a great thing to do, and Sweet Soul can go over many other benefits that LinkedIn has.
So sign up if you haven't yet and create your profile, which is going to summarize your professional experience to your connections, current and future employers and recruiters. You can showcase your professional life, milestones, skills, and interests. The setup is basically the same as Handshake, where you have to upload professional photo and some your the skills and interests. The next one is you got to build your network. It will help you understand what is happening in your industry and professional circle. You can start by adding your friends, family, past or current classmates, even your coworkers to your network. You can also follow people, companies, or topics. You can also join professional events such as online workshops, seminars, networking events, and many more. And then you can find a job or internships. You can use LinkedIn to research companies and reach out to the hiring community, and even apply directly to roles, save job searches, and notify your connections and recruiters that you're open for job opportunities. And then you can participate in conversations, which will allow you to share your perspective on relevant issues and topics with other people. You can like and comment on posts and articles on LinkedIn. You can even create or join LinkedIn groups to connect and grow with members who maybe share your interests, experiences, aspirations. And last one is post content. You can post something about that interests you, let's say for a research, internship, or job opportunities. Millions of members come to LinkedIn every day to connect, learn, and share. Next one is Facebook.
So in addition to Handshake and LinkedIn, Facebook is also a platform that serves as another method of finding research opportunities or positions. So like, while it's not the most common resource, you can still have access to a wider reaching platform where you'll be exposed to a variety of opportunities, like internships and volunteering. So it's not just limited to research. Also, this platform allows for a more personal connection where you'll be able to network with professionals and peers. And this is really beneficial for finding these opportunities since, as we all know, connections go a really long way in this business. So especially when you're on especially if you're on the pre-health route, I would recommend you follow HealthB or HMP3 on Facebook. These are pre-health organizations at UCSD. I recommend them because they post really helpful links, resources, and even news on potential opportunities for pre-health students. I personally know that they do post summer research opportunities and stuff like that, so it's definitely something to look into if you're interested. Okay, moving on to our next segment. It's all about how to approach a principal investigator, which is also known as a PI. So basically, if the person whose lab you want to join is the professor of a class that you're currently taking, make sure you go to office hours as much as you can and be super consistent. Since we're currently in Zoom University, you should make sure to keep your cameras on so your professor will be able to put a face to the name. I can't even tell you how many times I've been in office hours and discussion sections and even lectures where everyone is just literally a blank box with the name on it, and the instructor is the only face that we see. I'm sure that y'all have also experienced this, which is why it's so important to have that camera on and ask questions. This will really set you apart because it'll make you more memorable. It shows that you're involved and engaged and participating, which is a really great quality to have if you're trying to get to know your professor and have them pick you to join their lab. In the instance that the person whose lab you wish to join is not your professor, you can try sending out cold emails. So in this context, cold emails are basically messages that you send to professors where you inquire about a research position that they might have that's available in their lab, one that you're interested in. So actually, this is the method I use to obtain my research position. And some of these tips are really helpful because I did use them and obviously I was successful in getting a position. So you should definitely send out a couple cold emails at a time. I would say like 5 or more. This is because the more people that you email, the higher your chances are of getting a reply, which is obviously the goal. That's what we want. Generally, you should be able to find a couple labs and list them for yourself that you're interested in. And usually they have a website. So you should find the PI's contact info or a postdoc's contact info and make sure that's the one that you're going to be sending the message to. You should definitely, prior to sending that message, read up on their work when drafting the email, explain why that research interests you, and show that you're actually passionate about the project. This will definitely set you apart from the many other students that are probably also in their inbox, so keep that in mind. Another thing that's really important is you should try and keep your email as clear and concise as possible. That's mostly because the people you're trying to contact are very busy people who don't really have lots of time to be reading like paragraphs via email. So definitely getting straight to the point can provide you a faster answer. Yeah, so I'm gonna let Nkechi go into more detail on how to structure your cold email. So take it away, Nkechi.
Yeah, so when writing cold emails, as Jazz says, you do want to be as concise as possible, but also give them enough information for them to know about yourself. So first things first, definitely introduce yourself. You know, say either dear professor or hello professor, and then introducing yourself, make sure you let them know your name, what grade or the year that you're in, and then your major as well. So like for instance, an example would be like, hello, dear Professor Lincoln, my name is Nkechi and I'm a first year transfer majoring in human biology. And then secondly, you want to explain why you're interested in the research. Like Jazz said, it's important for you to know about the research. So doing the research on your PI before is great. And then using that information in the research that they're doing. Additionally, if you have a personal connection to the research, like for instance, let's say that specific PI is researching, cures for a disease, and that was the disease that either affected somebody that's very close to you or somebody in your family, it's great to put that in your cold email. Let them know that this kind of research has a personal objective towards you. And then also make sure you explain what you want from them. So you have to let them know, like, I enjoy your research and I'm very passionate about research. Is there a possibility for me to work in your lab with you? And this can be in this quarter or later quarters. You're just giving them the option that you are free and available for them as well. And then in addition to this, you want to let them know why they should pick you. A lot of the times researchers are looking for people who have done research. So it's great for you to explain like, hi, I've done this kind of research already, or I've been in this kind of lab before, and I've used this kind of techniques and experience and this software. However, it's not always the case. A lot of the times researchers just need somebody in there, an extra body, either to wash dishes or to transport things, and that can be where you come in. So even if you don't have research experience, don't let this delay you or discourage you from applying or emailing these professors. Just let them know that you're dedicated to this project that they're doing and you're willing to work in any way possible. In addition to this, attaching your resume and your transcript are two great ways for your professor or the PIs to get a better overall view of you. For instance, in a lot of the lab classes that we have, you have to pass that lab class, you have to use certain equipment or things in the lab class. So it's best if you try your hardest, to put your resume in there and put your transcript so you can tell them, I've done this class, I've been successful in this class, I've been successful using these tools, I can do this. And if you don't have a resume, the Career Center at UCSD has links and they have sessions to help you out and make one for you. So it's always great to have that resource that we have here. And then lastly, you want to let them know your availability. Knock everything out at once so you don't have to be emailing the PI multiple times trying to get a time set. Either let them know that you can come to their office hours or that you're available to come on this day or such and such. And if it's a professor or a PI that's a professor that you don't have this quarter, you can look up their syllabus on WebReg and that'll have their office hour times as well. And then make sure you end the email on a nice and high note, just telling them thank you for their time to read everything and that you hope to hear from them soon is always a great way to end. And again, if this is something that you're really, really passionate about, and this is research that you definitely want to do, even though we did say in the beginning, it's always great to send more than one email, make sure you follow up if you haven't heard anything back. Sometimes professors, they just forget or they get so busy and they're like, oh, this person was a perfect student, but I totally forgot to email them back and now it's already too late. It's never too late. Always make sure to follow up and let them know that you're still interested. And Ryan is going to talk about one of these opportune times that you can have with a professor.
Thanks, Nkechi. So one way that you can get connected with the professor is through the Coffee and Dine with the Professor program at UCSD. Basically, the school will pay for you to get coffee or so it's coffee twice a quarter and a meal once a quarter per year. Unfortunately, right now the program is closed because of COVID, but you should definitely keep an eye out for this once restrictions hopefully get looser soon and we get control of the situation. But yeah, I don't know, like when I was looking into which school to transfer to personally, this is one of the things that actually stood out for me a lot. I saw it mentioned in a lot of YouTube videos I was watching, and I just thought it was such a novel concept. And yeah, I'm super excited for it. So I'm going to pass it on to Anna. Oh, sorry, Anna, your mic's muted.
Sorry, thanks, Ryan. So tips from a master's student during COVID. So I actually met a couple master's students for social distancing, but I got a really great tip from this awesome person, and I just want to share it with all of you guys. So under the circumstances, getting research is honestly, it's hard, but it's not impossible. So the key is to read up on your professors and TA's research before office hours. And what I found helpful is if you can wait it out and just try to get them by themselves, you can ask all the questions that you want on their research and they'll be super excited that you're curious because of course everyone likes to talk about what they're working on because it's really important to them. And then once you're comfortable, ask if they hold Zoom meetings because if so, you can drop in and listen. And especially because everything is online now, it shouldn't be too much of a hassle because all you have to do is just, pop in, even make it clear that you just want to listen. You're not going to be a bother. You do want to make that very clear. You're not going to be disruptive or distractions. You also want to be really persistent. Show reoccurring interest, pay attention in class, ask them questions after office hours. Again, read up on their work. Avoid being pushy about the position because again, you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, nor do you want to be pushy during this time. But the key to this whole thing is just show that you care because when time does come around that they're ready to take on more undergrad students and students in general, your name would be at the top of their list because you showed effort. So I'm going to pass it to Ali to share about the interview process.
Thank you so much, Annie. Yeah, that's a great tip. Y'all definitely capitalize on that. Now we're gonna go to the interview process, right? You did the cold email, you did the handshake, you did the LinkedIn, you did the Facebook page, you got that call, you got that email, and now you're getting ready for the interview process. And we're just gonna walk you through it. So before the interview, some things you wanna do is your research experience. A lot of times when we submit our research resume, we may put things on there that we've done, but may not have a clear understanding of. So it's really important that we brush up on that information, right? So for example, say I took a molecular biology lab and I did a DNase I footprinting lab, and that I would want to maybe watch a YouTube video real quick. So that way I'm brushed up on that research experience. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. And just overall, look over your cover letter, look over your resume, see what you have on there and how you can use those things towards your benefit during the interview. And then on top of that, like just like Annie said, just like Jazz said, researching the department or the professors or the principal investigators research is super, super, super important. The reason why is because it shows you're interested in the position and you're interested in their research because they want you to be invested in it as much as they are because they're so interested, right? So it's so important to do that because that way when you go into the interview, you can ask them questions. It's not only an interview for you, but it's really a conversation. Think of it as a conversation to make sure you fit in as well. So definitely make sure to let them know and tell them that you're really interested in the research. Ask them questions about anything that they're doing. Dress professionally, even if it's for Zoom. Definitely just avoid like go all out. Go all out. Wear that button up with that tie, with that coat, even if it's on Zoom. Put on cologne, even if it's on Zoom. Go all out because honestly, that shows. It shows the person that you're really looking forward and you're professional for it. You're gonna take the time out for this research, and then on top of that, do your research. Know what you're doing. Know the job description. Know what is going to be required of you, and of course ask questions because this is about your fit. Oftentimes you're going to be working in this research for maybe 1 to 2 years, and if you're going to be working in that research for 1 to 2 years and you're taking a lot of your time, you want it to be something you can enjoy. You want it to be with people, you want to know who you're going to be working with directly, and you want to know what your day-to-day tasks are going to be. So during the interview, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Jazz and she'll take you on from there.
Great, thanks, Ali. So yeah, as important as it is to do great in the interview, it's equally as important to ask your own questions to better determine if this lab will be a good fit for you. Some questions to think about asking include, is there any room for growth? Is there a chance of being published? What is the time commitment? How's the lab dynamic? And so on. These are really important because you want to get a feel, like Ollie was saying, you want to get a feel of the lab and make sure that you fit in and you mesh well with the people there. Because if this is a long-term thing and you're not liking it, that's not going to be good for a number of reasons. So it's good to prioritize that as well. I know it's easier said than done, but you should be confident in yourself, your abilities, and your experiences. You've made it this far, which shows that you're more than capable. So give yourself the credit you deserve. Give yourself a nice little pat on the back. It's been a really, really hard year, as like everybody knows. And you're still going. So that says a lot about you. So that's something to celebrate. And lastly, make sure you know your worth. If you feel that the lab that you are interviewing for is not a match for you, don't even worry about it. There are tons of other options, so don't give up. You'll eventually be able to find the one for you on that list that you made of labs that you're interested in. So I'm going to pass it off to Samir to let you know what you should do after the interview.
Brilliant. So after the interview, the work is not almost done because you still want to follow up with your recruiter or the person who offered you the internship to make sure that you get all the necessary steps before the first day of the internship. And it's really good to stay formal throughout this process because you don't want to send too many emails to make it seem like you're like beyond interested and you're basically just asking way too much. So making sure that the communication is very brief and that you're on the right track and that the recruiter knows that you're going to be able to start by your date is very good. So always sending an email after the interview and just appreciation for them to offer you the position. And you may not get a response, so it's really good to just relax and basically just give yourself a pat on the back for doing this process. And if you don't get the internship, there's many opportunities and there's always time to learn more things and improve.
And I'm going to go ahead and talk about some research opportunities that y'all could capitalize on right now.
So the first one is at our school at UCSD, we have the academic enrichment programs, which is a great center for students who are looking for research opportunities or for other internship opportunities there. One major research opportunity that they do have through the program is TRELS, or the Triton Research and Experiential Learning. So basically, the program allows you to pick a professor of your choice that you want to research with, and you'll get to work with them for either a quarter or during the summer. And it's for students in every major or any department. So even if you're not a science major, if you have a friend who's looking for research and they're not a science major, they can still apply through TRELS. The amazing thing about this program is that if you do apply during the quarter, you get $1,000 scholarship taken off of your tuition. And then if you apply during the summer, you get $5,000. So for 10 weeks of work for $5,000, that's pretty good, I would say so myself. In the summer, they do have a little bit more requirements, including you have to work at least 30 hours a week. And then at the end, you have to do a presentation, either like a poster presentation or create like a published work at the end of the summer. But if you're doing the quarterly research, there's no minimum, or at the end of the quarter, you have to come up with something. So you can reapply every single quarter if you like working in that lab for that $1,000 scholarship. For both the summer and quarter scholarships, you do have to be enrolled in full-time, and you have to have a UC GPA of at least 2.5. So if you are a transfer, you won't have a UC GPA until the winter quarter, so you can apply for TRELS during that quarter. And then you can't participate in any of your like 199, so any independent research that you get for school credit, any outside payment. So like, let's say you work in a private research lab and you want to do that as your TRELS, that won't work. Or any other structured program here at UCSD.
Yeah, so another great resource for for research opportunities is going to be the Career Center. And this place is fully dedicated to helping you find jobs and landing ideal internships and professional or graduate school opportunities. So they have this great thing called the roadmap, and it helps you plan out everything you need to do to get jobs and internships and research. And as mentioned before, it can also help you figure out your resume and get all your transcripts. And they have a specific place for research and innovation, and this is called the Research and Innovation page. And in this, if you click on the link, there's going to be a bunch of research opportunities. So I'll take you through that. The first one is called the Real Portal, and this stands for Research Experience and Applied Learning. And this allows you to create an online portal and search for research opportunities. And this is a great place to help find research experience that matches your interests. Another great thing they offer is the faculty mentor program, and this is a great program to help get to know professors. And in this program, students are with a faculty member, and they are in faculty mentored research projects, and this can help gain a lot of insight into potential careers. They also have the UC Scholars Program, and this is offered during the summer. So if you want to get some research done during the summer, this is a great opportunity. It's an 8-week research experience that ends with a campus conference. So this is great to help if you'd like to present your ideas and experience. This is a great program to be a part of to present what you learned during your research during the summer. And lastly, they also have the academic internship program, and this is a great opportunity to merge your academic learning with real world practice. This program helps you explore careers and enrich your education through hands-on experience. And then another great opportunity, as mentioned before, this is mainly specific for pre-health or pre-med majors, is HealthBeat. And HealthBeat aims to help those in the careers of pre-health and pre-med with a bunch of resources and opportunities for you to capitalize on. They offer pre-health events and workshops to answer any questions or get any help about what to take on and how you can apply. And they also have 10-minute drop-ins with an advisor, as well as 30-minute appointments if you need if you have more questions and need more in-depth explaining. And yeah, they also have a Facebook page, as mentioned as well. That is a really great resource to get information about that.
With that being said, we have come to the end of our GBM. Make sure to follow us on all our social medias. And if you're a new member, make sure to sign up. One thing I do want to say, when you talk to Career Center, when you talk to a lot of the professionals, right? Talk to some professors, they may not always say some encouraging things. And I think as transfer students, we've all experienced this, where it's like, no, your GPA isn't high enough, or your MCAT score isn't good, or your past research lab experience is not appropriate. Don't let them put you down, because you are a transfer student, and as transfer students, we have persevered and we have come such a long way, and we have proven so many people wrong. And just because if a staff member tells you like, no, you can't do it, don't believe them. Still keep fighting for it, so you still keep pushing through, and hit up TiS. Hit up Transfers in Science, and we will back you up 100%. And then, and especially because some amazing stories from these grad students and these med students on how they're able to get into schools, about how they were able to get into research. And a great way to learn about those stories is through one of our committees, is grad/med talks with Nkechi and Ryan. They're amazing. We already had one meeting, but if you would like to plan those meetings and talk to the speakers behind the scenes before the events, make sure to apply for their committee. We also have 2 other committees as well, Women in Science and Pre-Research. Definitely make sure to look into that. And we have a mentor-mentee program, which we are going to look in, which we are looking to launch in winter quarter. So definitely sign up for that. And with that being said, GBM is done. Thank you all so much for staying around. If y'all have any questions or would like to know about the research experiences of some of the people on board, please stick around, ask us questions. We are here for you. We're your resource. And yeah, thank y'all so much for coming.